Hello and welcome to Lemire Reviews, where we bring you the stories you may not yet have heard of. Today we're diving right back into Once and Future with part 16. So far we're more than halfway through the series and it's been a wild ride. I want to thank everyone for letting me share this with them. I've loved the series so far and getting to share it with all of you. So let's dive right in. We turn to our cover of Gran and Duncan being confronted by Lancelot. Everything is covered in an icy blue or white, with a fiery red behind Lancelot, maybe symbolizing his rage. This comic was created by Kieran Gillen, Dan Mora, and Tamara Bonnevillain. Distributed by Boom Studios on February 17th, 2021. We open on Camelot Castle in the Otherworld. Galahad is questioning Merlin, ready to make his move, worried about the state of his king. And we find out Merlin's endgame plan has Arthur sitting upon the Siege Perilous. Arthur sits there on the fatal seat. Plants have sprouted and become overgrown on his body, causing Arthur great distress. Merlin tries to soothe his king's ills. At the Grail Castle in the Otherworld, Duncan and Gran are being hunted by an enraged Lancelot. He demands his Lady Nimwe's location. From his thinking, they have taken her. Gran tries to explain that they are looking for the girl as well, who is going by a different name now. Lancelot had not known he had been tricked, and this new knowledge sends him into a deeper rage, where he tries to electrocute the pair with bolts of lightning. Bright side, he is now speaking in an understandable language. Gran, thinking fast, pulls and throws a smoke grenade, blinding the knight. Running forward, they come to a treasure room. And like any good treasure hoard in mythology, a giant black and green dragon sits atop it, guarding its hoard. In Bristol, UK, Rose is still being held at gunpoint, and Nimue is shooting down at the soldiers. She's trapped on the second floor still. The agent, unbothered by Nimue, is turning his attention to Rose. Turns out the man has been Rose's contact the whole time. The man is a shadow secretary, come to see if the group overstepped their bounds, or if they have kept to the accords, keeping things as buttoned up as possible. Rose surmises that he is speaking on them being audited. Just then, Nimue rains down a hail of bullets, forcing the two to take cover, with bullets coming close to them. Gran and Duncan try climbing over the dragon to escape, keeping quiet as possible, since Duncan is still in the role of Beowulf, who dies by a dragon, only for their attempt to be thwarted by Lancelot, finding them and making a ruckus. In Bristol, we find Nimue trapped, and she starts freaking out, calling to Merlin for an escape. And with his twisted ways, he gives her the same way as when she got her burns, filling the tub with boiling water. She argues with Merlin, but she and he know she has no other way out. So he begins to goad her, and she takes the plunge. A scream rings out in the Grail Castle. Lancelot recognizes the voice and runs to her aid. Duncan is suspicious of the timing, and both pondering on the differences between the look of Arthur and Lancelot, the two being from different times and places, and of course, Lancelot is French. In their moment of rest, Gran tells Duncan of the last times Arthur had risen. In fact, it had been twice in the times before. She wonders what it is all for, and if they are even winning. That is when the dragon awakes, and starts to try and eat them both. At Rose's house, they have also heard Nimue scream, and things going weird. The agent realizes this is their chance, and are going to follow Nimue through, swearing the two soldiers to complete secrecy. We find out that one of the soldiers in the room had been talked to by the Prime Minister to report everything he sees to the minister behind Hempleworth's back. Hempleworth turns to Rose and gives her a key to an apartment across the street and tells her where to find a gun. He is sending her away so she can be safe. They charge up the stairs and into the other world. They reappear in the Otherworld in the Grail Castle. One of the soldiers, acting like any normal person would, having a bit of a panic attack, looking for some kind of understanding. Pulling themselves together, they find a trail and move further into the castle. Merlin, watching all this, tells Galahad to ride forth, feeding him a story about a damsel in distress. that he alone must save, and off the knight races to do as he is sworn to do. Mary awakens in a pond in the castle, Lancelot bidding her to awake. He confronts her on her lies and many names, losing his temper in the asking of his questions. Duncan intercedes, facing down Lancelot. Gran urges him not to point his gun at the knight. This is when Hempleworth and his soldiers walk in and start pointing their guns at Lancelot as well. Which is also when Galahad appears, like always spewing on and on about how he is the greatest knight there is. And we see the cursed knight has been fused to his dead horse, a worm-covered abomination, now taking the form of a centaur. And here we are at the end of another issue. Merlin's schemes are coming to fruition, Arthur is out of commission, and our heroes seem to be playing catch-up. Well, I can't be sure about the dragon they put into this issue. With a little study, I think it's from Lancelot's stories from Castle Corvinec. Also for Lancelot, they seem to have given him a rage problem and electric powers that he has in no other stories. And now the government's fully hands-on, not only intervening for Rose, but storming into the other world to attack Lancelot. Let's see what wacky ways this interference now hampers our heroes and aids the enemy. Well, that'll wrap things up for today's video. I want to thank everyone for watching and letting me share these stories with you. If you like what we do, please like, share, and subscribe. And let us know how we're doing down in the comments down below. We'll see you all next time.